Hear the voice of the bard, who present, past, and future sees, whose ears have heard the holy word that walked amongst the ancient trees, calling the lapsed soul and weeping in the evening dew, that might control the starry pole and fallen light renew. O earth, return, arise out of the dewy grass. Night has worn, and the morn rises from the slumberous mass. Turn away no more, while wilt thou turn away? The starry floor, the watery shore, is given thee to the break of day. Good to be with you, my friends. It is I, your bard, your spiritual entertainer, out in the wilderness today, out in my sacred grove, my place of reflection, not too far away from society. As you can hear in the background, somebody's racing a car up on the highway over here, quite loud. What a nuisance, right? Noise pollution. But thankfully, the birds don't mind out here where I am. Yes, I try to come out here once a week to talk about the spirituality of nature, the spirituality that's in you. You are nature. Everything that you see around you here in the wilderness, that is you. It all expresses itself to you. It is all an extension of your humanity, it's an extension of your consciousness, it is an extension of your being. That's where we find ourselves in the world, in this place of mystery. Modern Druidry helps you to establish this connection, this link to the world around you. And that begins within yourself. Learning that what's in here is sacred, learning that what's in here is wonderful, is an essential step for growth. Usually, a lot of religions and things, they begin outside of yourself. You have to go to a building, a temple. You have to get spirituality from a person, a reality, right? Everything starts outside of yourself in some other place. And we are taught not to see ourselves as the starting place. Well, modern Druidry begins with you. It begins with the importance of you, you being that reality, you being that mystery, and learning about yourself. The high priestess of the mountains is here, Gwendolyn. Good to see you, Aes Sedai. Gather round the cauldron, friends. We're out here in the wilderness, in the sacred grove, talking about the world we live in. As I came out here, I got eaten alive. It rained. All last night it rained. So there's lots of fog, mist around me right now. And the mosquitoes are terrible. They're eating me alive. I put lots, I use like a lotion that I put on, and I didn't put any on like they bite you through your pants. Isn't that crazy? Right? Can't even wear a pair of pants without getting eaten alive. My granddad buddy Steve is here. Good to see you, our good friend Steve. Steve told me he is part of an organization or a community of pranksters that enjoy going around pranking people on YouTube and other places. I thought that's quite interesting. That's it's kind of like, the movie Jackass. You have these people. Steve's a part of a community, and Steve came here doing that stuff here, right? And now he's a moderator. I love humor, and if you have the ability to inspire humor, that's a great thing, right? To bring in the world. Aura, good to see you. Good to have you here. Good morning. Good morning to you, my friend. You could send you a link to a bug repellent you use in the field. Yes, please. I would certainly. You are a professional person in terms of going out in the wilderness, and I'm sure you have access to the best. I've used all kinds of creams and everything, and they always find a way to get in your pants, right? These insects, right? Yeah. Last weekend when I was out here, I brought a tick home, and I wasn't aware of it until the next day. I just happened to see on my belly button, there was this, I'm like, what do I have here? A skin tag or something? Is this a mole that grew without me being aware of it? And it was a tick. it snapped off, and I was able to capture it and take care of it. Now I have a little bite. No, this was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I have a bite. It's been at least a week and a half or something like that. I can't remember, but no illnesses, no sicknesses, no Lyme's disease is not common where I am. Most places up north, but Central Florida where I am, I don't really have to worry about it. You love all mother's creatures, but you hate ticks. Yeah, yeah. One of our community members, Knight of the Cipher. Now, he has an interesting philosophy about the insect kingdom, and he sees them just as valuable as anything else. And if a bug is a nuisance, he will just um, replace it. Right? He will put it in a proper place. He will get it out of his environment. He'll take the cockroach and take it down the street and put it in the woods or something. And I thought that was a beautiful philosophy to have about the world around you. I'm used to smashing insects. Like if mosquito lands on me, it's doomed, right? But that's commendable to be able to have a philosophy where you see the value in all life. The magic, that's right, my friend John, the magic. If Harry Potter could get nerdier, um, what relates here to Harry Potter? I don't understand the context of that. I mean, that's really getting old, right? Are you not, have you never experienced other cultures or other communities or people groups in the world? Or do you live an isolated life in front of your television set where you're not aware of other people's cultural expressions in the world? Everything has to be Harry Potter. Keredwin 14:6, I am the way, the truth, and the cauldron. No one comes to the hour but by me. Thank you, brother. Carson, thank you for reminding us the good word of the goddess. We can't forget that, right? The good word of the goddess is with us. Um, Carson, Keredwin is queen. I agree. I am a big, Keredwin is my ancestral goddess, so I'm a big fan, right, of the Welsh people. Ceridwen is a very important mythology of our ancestors and history. So I'm a big fan as well. You try never to kill bugs, but the ticks, yeah, yeah, they are dangerous, right? It's understandable why you want to destroy an insect, right? Because of the dangers they pose to you and your survivability. And now they would do the same thing. I mean, they have no trouble eating you alive for their survivability, right? You know, the survivability is an understandable reality that all life has. We're trying to exist, right? Coexistence with all species is not possible yet, but that should be the goal. And I think philosophies that encourage that are very important. You feel on me, I latches on smoother than sunscreen. It lets go. Yeah. Yeah. The ticks are notorious for causing all kinds of problems, right? Like I have a friend in northern Scotland. He says that most of the people up there have Lyme's disease. Um, Ticks are a very common thing in northwest Scotland, where he is from. Um, Ticks refuse to bite me. They love my cat, though. Yeah, that's always scary when our animals, they come home with these things latched onto them, right? Um, Thankfully, all of my animals live inside with me. They don't have to go outside. Uh, the ticks are trying to eat you. It's an unfair exchange, right? Ceridwen is the only god. I agree. I'm also a monotheist. I also have one goddess as well. So I understand warrior Potai, poet I, or whatever you call your name. Newman, Amelsworth, respect. You just make another claim. Apart from uh, why are non-human animals worth respect? You just made another claim. Well, if I was a greater species than you, why are you worth respect? Why should I respect you? If I am a greater power than you in this um, web of life that we're all part of, why do you reserve respect, right? You, this philosophy that separates nature from yourself is not based in reality. Um, we have a relationship, symbiotic relationship with the whole world. You cannot separate yourself from the environment. Now, these Christian philosophies that try to separate you from nature, just the tendency of ancient people just to see an inner reality, a spirit, rather than seeing the world they were in as spiritual, is a terrible, terrible philosophy that we need to get away with. If we do not, if we continue on this path of separating ourselves from the world we're in, we're going to end up living in a cybertron and all become robots, right? Now, I'm a fan of integrating with technology. I think that's going to happen more and more. But at the same time, the dangers of losing our humanity, losing our biological network and connection, our nature, is a real danger. Once you lose this, when you create an artificial world, you stop existing, you stop living, you stop being able to feel. Like General Grievous. What was left of General Grievous's humanity, right? In Star Wars, he's a classic example. He's got a heart and a brain and lungs. That's it. And what kind of state is he in? He's miserable, right? We have a natural connection to the world around us. And it's important that we become more and more aware of that experience. More than my cat is who live known 17 years. Wow, that's a beautiful lifespan of an animal. Depends on what we mean by respect, but if that means not killing each other, eating each other, stealing from each other, uh, this idea of eating one another, um, there's no future in it. The way that we receive our energy, if we continue to live this experience, there's going to be nothing left, right? We have to evolve to a state where we participate and process energy in a more efficient way, or we're going to cease to be. Um, there will come a time when we do not eat one another, that we do not eat animals. I mean, this is the future. If it is not, um, there's going to be nothing left, right? We will consume all of our resources. We need to, part of our evolutionary process is learning to process energy better as a species. Let's see, why would I, let's see here, care about your, because you also want to survive. Yeah, I cannot survive without you. Our survival is mutual. We are one species, we are one people, and we have to work together for the ultimate outcome. Keep your eyes open. How are you doing? It's not been that long. It's been, what, about a month? We have seen you. I hope you're doing well. Good to have you here. Keep your eyes open. That isn't my species. It has no relation to you. Yeah. Well, you don't seem to care about the world around you, right? When you are self-absorbed, all that matters is you, right? You are of good of nothing but to yourself, not to the world around you. And how is that going to end for you, right? How will that mark out your existence, right? And your contribution to the world around you. These philosophies of escapism, they don't allow you to participate in the world around you. They're quite unfortunate. Don't forget, my friends, to hit the like button as you come in. I do this every day. Today I'm in my grove, talking about nature and spirituality, modern druidry, animals, insects, and peppermints. Let's see. That's probably blood he is drinking. Yes, I'm a vampire. How did you know I was a vampire, right? Name a single American band. Why? Uh, what does that have to do with anything? I don't understand what the context is. I To view we act as simply self-interest. Yeah. Well, the idea of self-interest has, if it does not evolve into the love of outside of myself, you will cease to exist, right? In order for a species to thrive, it has to think community. It has to think expansion of consciousness, unity. Self-absorbed realities are like cancer in your body. When a cell wants to do its own thing, it continues to destroy rather than to give. Uh, it was still hominids, maybe it would be beneficial not to treat them like ticks or mosquitoes. Where's the line? Yeah, chimps are beautiful creatures, right? Uh, I always enjoy watching those YouTube films of the people embracing their chimps and Coco the ape, for instance, as well. It's beautiful to see how our love changes these creatures. And yet at the same time, they still have this connection to instinct, which can be very terrible if it's not guided, right? They certainly can destroy you. He's not an idiot, he's a wizard. I'm a druid. I practice druidry. There's wizards and druids. I mean, there's a fine line, right? There's a fine line with that. Zerg is here. Good to have you. I was enjoying a lot of Zerg's interesting posts. He likes making fun of myself and other people. Interesting people. I like though he's got Pastor Ricky Barber on there, right? Our favorite Christian pastor. Look at Fiona here. Fiona has changed her name and has gone into doing YouTube stuff now. Isn't that wonderful? Wild Kerry, Ireland, from the Kingdom of Kerry. Farmer Fiona is now a YouTuber. She has taken the advice of the bard here and is branching out and showing the beauty of her land, the beauty of her animals, and her cows are adorable. These red-haired cows that she has, they are so beautiful. She has one where there's a calf, a baby, and his mommy together. It's adorable. Thank you, Fiona, for sharing the beauty of Ireland with the world on your channel. You just started. Well, you'll learn the balances, in terms of sound, in terms of presentation. You continue to refine yourself. See, I'm still refining myself. If you have a YouTube channel, most of your traffic will come from those YouTube shorts. And the shorter they are, the better, because people's attention spans are quite low. So I always release YouTube shorts just about every day, because that is where you get all your people to your channel. That's where people first encounter you. The YouTube shorts. In another live streaming as well. Live streaming, you're always guaranteed at some point, community, people joining your community that way. Live streaming is a great way to engage people and talk to them about what you're doing, what you're about. So that I'm glad to see that Fiona here is taking up the advice of the bard here and is sharing the beauty of the Kingdom of Kerry in Ireland with all of us. Let's see here. Eat some veggies, damn it. Paul, good to see you. Holy smoke, holy hello. Take away we go in the smoke and toke. Look at he's got his reefer all ready for today. What a sick person on there. Look at that. What a terrible person. There he goes again. Yeah, it's sad. Are you Harry Potter, sir? Are you? I mean, this Harry Potter stuff is quite childish, right? These are my cultural realities here. And we are waiting for right now, we're waiting for the sun to rise in my grove here. As you can see, it's impossible to really see. There's too much mist. There's too much mist here in my grove to be able to see the sun rising. But eventually it'll get there, and probably the next 30 minutes more, the mist will dissipate. As I said, it rained all night last night. So we're waiting for that mist to disappear, and I'll be able to show you the glorious sunlight as it pierces through the trees. Don't forget, my friends, there's a like button. What's up with that? 40 people here. What's going on? Help a bard out. Spiritual entertainment, 7 days a week, my friend. There is a like, thank you. There is a like button at the top of your screen. Please give it a touch. I do this for a living. It's very important. If you want to support YouTubers, to touch that button. It's so easy to watch and just to take, right? But I do this for a living, so it's important that people touch that beautiful button at the top of your screen. I do look like Harry Potter. That's a compliment, right? Um, it's a compliment. Are we part of a cult? Uh, no, we aren't Christian. Yeah, well, my cult's fun. Yeah. The Duke of New York is here. Good to see you. Thank you, Paul, for doing that. Simba, appreciate that. Get horses. Yeah. Uh, I wouldn't have the capacity to do that right now in my life. I don't have a farm. Fiona, do you have horses? I know you have cow. I don't. Do you have horses, Fiona? Is this where the Dungeons and Dragons story arc begins? No, that was last night. I streamed D&D every Friday nights. They had a good time. They finally escaped the dungeon they were in by the hair of their teeth, right? Barely making out it alive, right? You like having sex with donkeys in space? Well, some people have strange perversions, right? Uh, you are blocked, Mike. Yeah. Where is Fiona? Fiona is the Ireland land of Kerry, or whatever her name is. I don't remember what it is. Fiona changed her name to Ireland, land of Kerry, or something. I can't. Fiona, put your comment again so people could see your name. Wild Kerry, Ireland. That is Fiona's name right there. Wild Kerry, Ireland. Uh, that horse just ignores me. I prefer the cows. So you do have on your in your experience of your land there. There's horse. Yeah, but Fiona's cows are adorable. American woman here call out the fundamentalist assholes. Yeah, you like me saying that word, right? Do I know how to shoot a bow? No, I do not. I had a bad experience with a bow and arrow when I was younger. I was not instructed properly, and I scraped up my whole arm. And after that, I never got interested in it again. Um, see here. Beware the nightmare, for he is cloaked in unmeasurable powers. Ooh. Fiona's not dissing horses. Fiona's a farmer. What she said was her horse that is on her property is not something that she, you know, wants to associate with in terms of YouTube. Maybe horses have different personalities, right? So that's not what Fiona said. Simba, you just, yeah, see, uh, stain stick you're making from back. Stain stick you are make. What do you mean by that? Stain stick? I don't understand the context of that. Stain stick. Um, last time I was here, you got muted for pre-supping shit out of your moderator. Well, don't be a dick, and my moderators won't ban you. I mean, it's quite simple. If you are inappropriate, you'll be it. Now, I give people second chances. ELP, hope your health is well. Good to have you here. Um, my moderators, they do this of their own free will, and they're all level headed, well rounded individuals. Now, in the beginning of my show, we had two moderators that were total nutcases that we had to get eventually removed. They were being inappropriate. But these moderators have been around for quite a long time. Of their own free will and goodness, they are here dealing with assholes every day. Um, Lord of the Pancakes, you like space monkeys? That's your thing? Yeah, well, people have different sexual desires. I'm not into space monkeys. It's not my thing. It used to be adventure like me and took an arrow through the knee. Yeah, now you're a sweet roll enthusiast. You fix your name on here. Yeah. You were just messing around. Now you got to wait 6 weeks to change your name. Um, you changed your title of your page and you changed your username, right? So you don't need to change the title of your page. Your username back to Fiona of Ireland or whatever you were. You have to wait like 6 weeks or something like that. You're feeling a bit better. Well, I'm glad to hear that, my good friend ELP, that you're feeling quite well. The sun is rising. I don't know if you could see it yet, but it's starting to penetrate through the tree line there. The sun, as you can see there, there's still lots and lots of mist, as you could see. Um, I think the down here in the swamp, one of the one of the beautiful things in the morning is the mist. There's something beautiful and mysterious about fog and mist, right? I really enjoy seeing that out here every morning. Here comes the sun, right? It reminds you of pagans. Yeah, well, pagans are my friends. I have lots of that are friends. Hello, fellow East Coastan. Good to see you. Look at this, the sun. Thank you for shining the sun upon us. Um, what if there is something in the mist? There is something in this. Something in the mist. Didn't Nirvana say that? Or something like that? I forgot what band. Now, lots of mythologies. Some of you are familiar perhaps with the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch is in an interesting section in it where Enoch is seeing how the cosmos is works. And one of the things he talks about are spiritual entities that move the mist, that move the winds, that move the rains, right? He's talking about what my ancestors would call the fairy folk. Um, we know the science of all things, right? We are able to see the material, right? Um, but the spiritual realities out of that you find in mythology is that there's an intelligence beyond the beauty of all things. We are as soon as most people in Western culture, materialism is our first educator, right? Our sciences and things. And what's unfortunate sometimes is we don't see the value of that mist rolling out in the morning, of the sun rising, of the tree. We just treat it all as non having no intelligence, no value, no purpose. So that's the unfortunate side that this our spiritual traditions remind us that there's something in the mist. There's something there worth seeking out. There's an invitation to you. I remember when I was younger, these moments when nature would speak to me. I would see like a collection of trees on a horizon, and I felt like I needed to go there. I felt like something was there drawing me in. But when I would go to these places, I'm like, what's going on here? It's just a bunch of trees, right? Um, my perception of these places was limited by how I was choosing to see them, right? My philosophies that I received from modern education didn't allow me to explore further. It created a wall that says that is as far as you're going. Well, who makes these walls? Who tells me it's time to stop, right? A lot of people that find themselves in paganism, they want to see the world as having purpose, right? As having a being, as live. They are tired of the materialism that says this is as far as you can go. And what's unfortunate, like in the Abrahamic faiths, is they've embraced materialism. They've embraced the Enlightenment. And what they'll do is they'll create words like supernatural. Like this is how it is here, but above that, somewhere, one day you'll see God or something. Pagans want to have God here, right? Druids want to see divinity here. They want to see purpose and meaning here. Hermeticists want to see the world as a spiritual, organized reality, rather than just useless material existing until there's non-existence once again. Oh, Red, good to see you, our good friend Red. This is how you wanted to be after watching Merlin in middle school? Yeah, well, dress how you want to live, right? I love wearing my cloak. I love going out in the wilderness here with my walking stick and exploring the mysteries of the natural. Somewhere over the rainbow, there you are. See that philosophy, very important, right? You know, these mythologies, these like Wizard of Oz, right? They really speak to your heart, right? Because we want something to be there. We want there to be more. Now, the that desire for more should be an invitation to explore. And you should be seeking greater ways to understand the world around you, right? That's what our sciences and arts are for. Let's see here. Now this dummy is outside doing this. What a dumb dork. I feel sorry for you, right? The fact that you have to go onto a YouTube stream and talk about other human beings like that really reveals a lot about how you're living and your state inside. I mean, the fact that you've come here more than once to express this is really sad. I really feel for you. Um, there's times in our life where we're not really finding value in ourselves, um, and we have to go to other people and try to put them down in order to feel good. I mean, you don't have to live that way. Love from the USA, thank you. Yeah, I'm also in the USA. I'm in Central Florida right now in a swamp with the alligators and all of the other critters out here. And the bugs are terrible. The bugs are terrible. The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. Yeah, right? We have this desire to explore. We have this desire to know. That is spirituality, right? And we shouldn't separate it. We shouldn't have a supernatural. We shouldn't have a parapsychology. We should continue to invest ourselves in discovery. The swarm and bugs are people too, yeah. The fence is always a fence on the other side. Stay away from the alligators. Well, I try to. They will eat you up, right? The alligators, right? They love that sweet bard blood, right? They certainly do. The difference between having God within us and an external God makes us beg, right? Yeah, this is the thing you find in the theology of the Second Temple, Judaism, is it wants to take God and put it far away and have people in charge where you are not supposed to be divine. There's only one up here, but we will help you and get you there. It is, and this tradition continues on in most of Christianity, right? Where you have the people of power controlling your experience. Everything is over here, and we'll give you access to it. The gatekeeper, right? And that is simply a terrible way to experience the world. You are responsible for the gate because everything that you are is connected to everything that is around you. And everything that around you exists because of whatever powers that be. Christians will hate people who believe in flat earth, but they are no problem thinking humans were created only a few thousand years ago. Yeah, it's really erroneous, right? The servant of Anubis is here, our good friend the vixen. You just find it hypocritical. Yeah. There's all these, the idea of, for instance, saying pagans believe in fairy tales and then saying that someone was born of a virgin, right? Stuff like that. They're okay with their fairy tales, but when you talk about mysteries, they're against it. There is a contradiction, certainly. Oh man, I put too much ice in there. It hurts my teeth. Um, where are we at here? What? Long time no see. Yeah, yeah. Gotcha. Good to have you here. Let's see here. How does it feel to know that Indian temples depict wormholes, travel? Yeah. What's interesting in my Hindu friends, Hindus, they make up a great deal of my audience, right? And you'll find a lot of people in Hinduism relating their mythology to science, right? And there's nothing wrong with doing that. But it's interesting that some of the connections and parallels that they derive, like this person here talking about wormholes and stuff, right? Yeah, it's important to see the value and connection in your mythology and to our endeavors. Uh, Now, what's really beautiful right now, I don't know if you could pick it up, is the light coming through the mist Let me see if you can get it. You probably can't. Do you see that ray right there? If you look right straight ahead, you could see the rays coming through the mist. I mean, this is beauty. Now, what does that say to you, right? If you could see that right there, I see that. You could see it bare. You could probably, can anyone see that ray coming through the mist right there? Good morning, Blake. Good to see you. What does that say to you, right? This beauty, it speaks to something within you, right? It awakens you when you begin to look at it, when you begin to see it, right? It is around my grove right now. There's all of these rays coming through the trees, right there. There's one of them, right? I don't know if I walked up closer, you could see it better. Let me try to get closer to it. I mean, I don't know if it's because of the distance I have from the light. I mean, I probably about right here. This is probably close as I can get. Now, do you see that, right? Let me see if I can get more of the sun in there. Now, look at that. Look at the beauty of that, right? The world you live in has all of these moments of beauty that are speaking to you. I probably should back up just a bit so I can get it in here properly with the sun there. There you go. Look at that. You see that? Let me see. Come on. It's just difficult to get the right frame here so you can see the beauty. I had it there for a moment. There you go. There's some of it. You could see that ray there. Look at that. I'm trying to get it with the more. I had the sun there for a moment. It's there's something. When I see stuff like that, it's like a doorway that opens, right? In my perception, that tells me to come through. It says, walk through this, come through this. It's an invitation to something marvelous. I'm sure you could see it now. I'm trying to get more of the sunlight in there, those gorgeous rays coming through there. It speaks to you. It says something to invite you, right? We have these moments happen all the time, right? And we take them for granted. We don't see their value. We don't see their purpose, right? Because we're taught not to see it. We're taught not to experience it, right? Just the beauty of that light there. I'm trying to get more of the sun in there. I mean, this is why I come out here not every morning, once a week in the morning to see this invitation here to explore that tells me that there's so much more to life if I'm willing to look. You know, it helps you to go inside of yourself to see your value. See, unlike other species, they don't have the opportunity that, like, for instance, my rabbits, right? Now, this moment, they are unable to perceive it, right? They don't have the capacity. Damn it, I've lost the light. All right. They don't have the capacity to see the way that we see this beautiful event here. They don't have the capacity to define it, to open their hearts to it, to let it speak to them the way you do. Now, everything has intelligence, right? Everything has intelligence in its own way. But we have the ability to put these connections together. We have the ability to build these bridges, unlike other species, other beings. We have been gifted with this great responsibility of beauty, right? Yeah, let's see here. Kiki, nice to see you. You need to be in the dark to see the light. Yeah, certainly, right? Certainly. Let's see. I hope there's a physical body. I'd be frightening if those flying multiple-eyed winged beings that come on the internet. I don't know what the context for that. Where is this? I am out in my grove here in the middle of the swamp in Florida is where I'm at right now. God is an orb of light. Why are you not God, right? What separates you from God? Why are you separated from it, right? Uh, is there certain, does the light speak to you in terms of divinity? It did for many of our ancestors who worshipped the sun, right? Solar worship was quite common, right? Um, the worship of the stars, that our ancestors, they saw the value of these things. Uh, Maybe not in the most appropriate ways, right? Because they did not see that light in themselves. Do I worship the beast? What do you mean, doggy style? Is that what you're asking about? Um, I hope God is a tin of tomato soup. Good. Campbell's, right? Watch out. There's giant pythons out here, certainly. Monitor lizards. I don't have those here. The beast equals Satan. Oh, I thought you were talking about a sexual position. Spellsworn Sage, how have you been? My acorn friend, good to have you here. Humans have language to describe. It doesn't mean animals can experience the marvels of nature. Yeah, but they don't do it in the same way, right? The survival instinct of the animal really dictates their experience more than our survival instinct. We're able to articulate, we're able to form concepts. I'm not saying that animals don't experience beauty and goodness, they certainly do, but not in the same way you do. You are the high priest or priestess of the natural. You can create in a way that an animal cannot create, right? That's very important that you recognize yourself not as a steward of the world you live in, but as the orchestrator, the guider, the guarantor of all species. You're on the top. You're on the top in terms of creativity. Say what? What we got here, my good friend? Green hunter? You're out hunting the green today, my friend? EMIT, good to see you. We got EMT and EMIT, both of them. Gwen is delusional. Why? Gwen is a wonderful person. Why would you say that? Do you want to get kicked out? Um, Take your medicine. I just did. I just did. I took my arthritis. Thank you for reminding me. I think Christians can be chill when they're not going around telling other people what to believe. Yeah, there's good Christian people that are on here. Vixen is a Christian Buddhist, right? There's good Christian people on here. Not all Christians are assholes. I need to take lithium. Why would you say something like that, right? There are people that need medicines like that. Does that make them less of a human being, right? Michael Jackson, you have come back, grabbing your penis and doing the moonwalk with us today. Am I a LARPer? In the evenings. Last night I wore a wizard hat. 666 is the number of bestiality. Well, you have a good time with that. It's 420 for you. I'm mentally unstable. What's wrong with being mentally unstable? Um, am I less of a human being if I have disabilities? Yeah. The fact that you're railing on about my instability, what does that say about your stability, right? The fact that you have to go on to a YouTube channel and rail against me, what does that say about you as a person, right? To me, that reeks of instability, right? In terms of your social upbringing specifically, right? Lack of courtesy, right? Good morning to you, Dr. Mantabagan, our good friend. Good to have you here. All right, take care, Spellsworn Smage. Thank you for stopping and saying hello, our good friend. Do I smoke weed? I eat it. I eat gummies, usually in the evening times. Now, tomorrow I have planned around 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, around there. We're going to watch Reefer Madness as a community tomorrow. That is my plan. Now, things could change, certainly. But around 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have a community stream. Anyone can watch. We'll be on a Discord chat watching this together and streaming it live tomorrow. Reefer Madness. It's about an hour long, just to enjoy the comedy of it together. Uh, what time is the shift at GameStop this morning? I go in at 12. Yeah. What's wrong with GameStop? Nothing. What's wrong with being employed? Right? Nothing. Right? Yeah. You people in your commentary in terms of insulting me is very childish. Right? Reefer madness, yeah. I was diagnosed with reefer madness when I was 17. I still haven't gotten over it. Still haven't gotten over the reefer madness. Oh, man. Let's see. Red, hello. Damn, mosquitoes getting in my face here. Wants to think he is not real, so he is screw him. Stay woke. Um, I don't get into these political, ideological debates and battles with people about wokeness and stuff like that. I want to see human beings, not ideologies. I want to have a conversation with people. Most of you have been programmed, and I understand this because I was programmed too, to treat other people based upon ideas rather than as persons, right? And we had someone get on last month and start railing on about a person is only worth their ideas, how well they think, how well they uh, operate in terms of their mentality. And that's a terrible philosophy. You know, you have value even when you have terrible ideas, right? And it's really sad that people operate on this level with these wars with ideologies. They disregard one's humanity in favor of whatever idea they want to champion against the other person. What time do you clock in and start getting paid? um, why so many mods, so many perverts and weirdos and freaks on here? I don't mind weirdos, perverts, and freaks, but when you start showing your penis to people, my moderators have to deal with you. Um, you are more than just religion. That's right. Yeah. There was a Sikh master that said, learn to be human first before you become religious, right? Or political. Because when your religion or your politics drive you, uh, you forget that there's people that are on the other side of whatever experience, right? It's very important that you learn to treat other people with respect and dignity. When you don't do that, you show that your own value and the lack of it in your philosophy, right? Good to see you. Is that Michael Carey or Michelle? I can't see that. Good to have you here. I'm sure the intentions to offer a way to heaven is nothing bad. Oh, the idea of sharing heaven is one thing. The idea of imposing it is another, right? Uh, a path shared to heaven is an invitation that someone would desire. Imposing it, except this way or else, there's no heaven there. There's just ideology. There, do the dang, those taste to you, Christian bashing, but we all deserve respect. I don't bash Christians. I'm very Christianized. Um, I ridicule fundamentalism. That's what I do. I ridicule terrible ideas. That's what I do. If you want to hold on to these ideas, I will gladly ridicule you. I enjoy doing that. I am a comedian. That is what I do. Um, are you a bard? Let's see here. Of the bards of the West? No, I am a bard of the Order of Bards, Ovites, and Druids. I didn't really get brought up with a religion. Neither did I, right? Just culturally, we're exposed to these things, right? There's probably no hair on my penis head. Yeah, I shave it off. Yeah. What if I didn't have any hair? What if I am bald? Does it matter? I mean, does that make me less of a human being? I mean, younger people, you're going to get old and wrinkly. Um, your body won't work the way it used to. You're going to be in the grave, right? What values does all of that material reality going to have for you in your last moments of life, right? What is it going to share with the world? Nothing, right? What's very unfortunate is that so many people are obsessed with materialism. They always want to pursue the mask, not real humanity. And when you get into a group of people that all wear the masks, there's no real humanity there, right? Everyone is living an illusion, and everyone's aspiring to that illusion. Meanwhile, where is yourself? It's gone. It's lost in this false reality, right? Um, Only Christians, Muslims send death threats for being a lesbian. Yeah, I get threats uh, from people here all the time. 95% of them are Christians, right? And I'm not against Jesus at all. Um, but 95% of my death threats, come from Christians threatening my livelihood, threatening my life. Um, I mean, this is such a contradiction to the nature of Christ, and it's very unfortunate. The idea that you're willing to destroy another human being that Jesus has given their life for. You're supposed to give your life, not take it, right? If you don't like someone who is gay, for instance, yeah, you want to destroy them, right? You're taking away from the nature of self-giving, of loving that other person, right? That is what Jesus is. He is a giver. He is a lover. He is not a destroyer of men. He is the savior of humanity, from your perspective, right? Yeah, love your enemy, right? Exactly, right? Mock, yeah. Shout out to Jesus. He is your real MVP. Yeah, the giver, right? It's very rare to find a true Christian these days. Yeah, because Christianity is not real. What you see in terms of Christianity is a farce. It is a institutional ideology rather than a way of life. Now, certainly in Christianity, you can find goodness. You can find a path. But in its institutional reality, it's terrible. It enslaves humanity rather than builds you up. Praying for the answer, a wizard who doesn't know how to spell. Yeah, the Bible, there's a quote, men cannot lie with men. Then other read, Jesus laid with his favorite young. Yeah, that didn't happen. Jesus, I wish Jesus was gay. We don't know if he was, right? Um, but in terms of his culture, it was impossible. It's like living in Saudi Arabia and being gay, that you will get destroyed, right? It is not friendly to diversity. You're a Buddhist, we don't care, love is love. What's interesting about Buddhist love is that it's a means to an end. I think that is not a good philosophy, right? Buddhism has a lot of good things, but it is not perfect. Um, when there's no personhood, there really is no love. And compassion is a means to an end rather than a means to a person, right? So Buddhist love is quite different than the idea of like Christian love, where you are giving to that person. Buddhist love, it is a means to an end because there is no personhood, right? Yeah, I like all religions, but not there's you can find faults in all of them, right? Oh, let's see here. God commanded the killing of children. He did. The God of the Bible is not a good God, right? Now, if I gave you a book that talked about killing children by a deity, you would say it's wrong. But when your book, you make excuses for it, right? See, Morphin doesn't like it either. Just know, even if you don't believe in Christ, know that I will pray for you, not in a pretentious, fake way, for my salvation. Christ loves you and hopes the best for you. Well, I don't. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm not against Christianity. I'm not against Jesus. I don't think salvation is a real philosophy. Um, uh, but Jesus taught me to love my enemies. Jesus taught me to give my life in unconditional love of my neighbor. That is something very difficult to do. That is a narrow way when you live a life of unconditional love. I'm not able to do that in a broad way yet. I'm just beginning that journey, right? And I've chosen the people. That's where I'm at. I'm very weak in terms of really loving other human beings. Uh, um, I'm just starting out on that path, and it is difficult to love people unconditionally. But when you do, you're God, right? Because God loves you unconditionally. Yeah. They think you're a druid. I practice druidry. I'm a member of the Order of Bards, Ovites, and Druids. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just earth-based spirituality. You can be any religion. Nicholas McInnes is false and evil. He cast me out. I am the fallen angel of Lord Nicholas. I am leading a rebellion against him. There's a druid symbol on the necklace. This isn't really a druid symbol. I mean, the Awen symbol is a symbol of modern druidry in my profile image, but this is what's called a triskelion, right? Certainly, druids had symbols like this, but this is, a lot of Celts had different symbols. And this, you could find this at New Grange. It is my Irish ancestors. Christianity will reject you. I'm not interested in anything that rejects me. Thank you. I don't want a deity that rejects me. I want a deity that loves me unconditionally, right? Alchemy, everything is alchemy, my friend. Everything is alchemy. My culture, what I follow, is never mentioned anything about gay or straight, so I have nothing against it at all. Yeah, yeah. It's unfortunate. The opposition to diverse experiences comes from the Abrahamic tradition. There's always been people of diversity, right? We have members of the Lakota tribes that come on here, and they have, like, in their lodge, a place for what are called two-souled people, people that live in the middle, right? We might call them transgender or non-binary people. There's a place for everyone, right? You go into Hinduism, they've always had Krishna turned into a lady, right? You have a whole culture that has always had places for people who don't fit into the normal, right? I recently learned, we have someone in our community here of the intersexed people, right? I didn't know that was real, right? Until I met someone that explained to me their experience. And our culture that we have and our religions, I was a minister. I worked in a church, and I never even thought about people that have, a woman with testicles, right? I never even thought about how to experience these people, or, you know, their place in the world, finding the way, right? These people are completely disregarded, and that is quite unfortunate, right? I mean, what are they going to do when there's a male and female bathroom and you're a woman, you have testicles, right? What are you going to do? There's no, you know, uh, uh, the way that our culture is designed based on our religious orientation, it doesn't give room for people of diversity, and that's because of the Abrahamic religions, right? God is a beam of light. What are you, Madonna? God is in your penis gland. You are the source, maybe? Yeah, probably. You see, I am of the persuasion that our chemicals respond. We are chemical. All of our bodies are made of chemicals, right? And um, our structure is designed to respond to stimuli. And we know that from meditation, that there's chemicals that are released, right? This is a natural thing, right? Over there, look where? Where am I looking? Is there something around? Did you see an animal? Um, let's see. Cool hand, mountain man, our good friend. Good to see you. In the Bible, it says that men were made first. But if you look at science, women are made first. Yeah. What if there was no first, right? These are conversations, I think, that we limit ourselves in terms of books, right? Um, I've shared before, I am of the philosophy that we've always been around. I can't prove that. I mean, our oldest Homo sapien is what, 300,000 years old, right? I'm not a candidate, but for some stuff I have respect and interest, certainly. Speaking about the womb, yeah. Yeah, we start out in science has told us that when we are coming into being, we start out as ladies, right? And then that other chromosome kicks in and the wiener grows up, right? We all come from the mother, right? We begin in the maternal. That is a fact of reality in terms of our science, right? And that is in our ancient cultures. Everything was maternal in its origin, right? The mother was on the top, right? Uh, uh, the idea, like in ancient Celtic traditions of celebrations, it begins in the evening before. The mother is the night, the darkness is the womb that gives birth to light. The people who celebrate the Wheel of the Year, you know this, right? That everything comes out of that womb, that darkness. The sacred grove is a return to the womb of the mother, right? It's very important that I'm going to make sure there's no boars. I heard some noises over there. You're surrounded so much by so-called Christian Catholics they don't practice. Thank you for reminding them. Yeah. Well, me and my wife were talking about this yesterday because we were very devout Catholics, um, and we followed the rules. We did it all right. We did everything they said. We prayed our rosary every day, and what we discovered is that we were the only ones doing it, right? And when it came to having a voice, we were disregarded, right? Um, and we were doing everything right, right? We were doing everything right. But thankfully, we grew up out of that terrible religion. Um, Pretty girls admitting me working out in the yard, and I do have a rabbit fan. I don't understand that. What's your name? Wizard of the Wild. You like rabbits? Yeah. You've been looking to the science of it. Dragons are real. Yeah, if you look in all of the mythologies of our ancestors, there's always dragons. I mean, these are important spiritual concepts that, the beauty of chaos, the wildness of the cosmos, right? And to the great beasts of Leviathan, the dinosaur. I mean, these are all important symbols for us that we can draw power from, right? The dragon's always been a powerful symbol in all cultures. Where am I from? Do I have hogs? Yes, there are wild boar all around me, and I have to be careful while I'm out here. Uh, this is a violent wilderness. If I'm not prepared, if I'm not careful, I do come out here. I am armed. Um, I make sure that I'm protected because I could be eaten alive out here where I'm at. What religion are you now? You're not a Christian anymore. My religion is spiritual entertainment, comedy and spirituality every day. I have not burned my bridge to Christianity. People assume that only because I'm not doing it the way you want me to. If you watch me every day, I'm always talking about Jesus in a positive and good and healthy way, unlike most Christians would, right? I don't offer him as a way that you take it or else. I offer him in a way where I don't even have to say his name, but demonstrate the ultimate value of the human person, that everyone is worthy of respect, conversation, and dialogue. Now, if you're a Christian and you always have to go around saying the name, what does that say about your life? Why can't your life say it for you, right? Why can't the way you treat other people? I remember when I was going to church, there was this retired nun that worked in the Catholic school, and everyone loved her. She didn't go around talking about Jesus all the time, but the way she loved people made you want to be like her. I would say I want to be like her. I had all of the theology. I knew all of the sayings, and I could certainly convince people of religion. But what she was doing convinced people more beyond words, right? Where are these type of Christians in the world that don't have to say anything, but by the way they love, they reveal the mystery of their experience, right? Um, Let your life speak for you. You know, when we don't even say the name right, yeah, like yeah, God gets all excited when you get the right Hebrew words, right? Dracula is Vlad the Impaler. Yeah, Dracula doesn't mind, right? Strahd is Dracula to me. Strahd. Curse of Strahd, right? They're making a new one of those. Did anyone play that one yet? Do I have a sword in my pants? Yeah. Uh, Weird, use the modern name, but okay. Um, we grew up in Catholic schools here. Those nuns were all, yeah. I mean, what does that say to you when you have this institutional reality speaking to you in that way, right? Dracula to you is from Castlevania. Yeah. The best Castlevania, there's so many of them. I got all kinds of the Castlevania games that I've, like on Steam, all the modern Castlevania games, right? Um, Castlevania 2 was the best. If you played that on the NES, I remember in sixth grade cutting school and staying home for 3 days to beat it. Um, what was interesting is it was like the first time a game offered multiple endings. Because if you got hit by Dracula during the final boss fight, you didn't get a certain ending, right? You continued to be cursed. So you had to defeat Dracula without being touched, and you could get the ultimate ending. And I thought that was interesting. Another interesting, these alternative endings. I mean, that was very unique for that time period, right? Um, well, a lot of Catholics are pervs. Well, that's just a dumb shit response. Not all Catholics are perverted, right? I mean, there's perverts everywhere, right? Not just in the Catholic Church. And that's just a dumb shit general response. Now, the Catholic Church as an institution handles perverted people terribly, right? Terribly, terribly, and still does it terribly. Um, and I've had experiences with this terribleness, and I've shared in the past. Um, Man, YouTube let certain people to have channels. Too many weirdos on this app. I know, that's why I don't subscribe to your channel. Your gooning channel is not for me, right? So that's why I don't subscribe to your channel. Uh, China related stuff. I just found cloud growing my yard. It's Chinese delic. I don't know what that means. No, you didn't mean the priests. Not all clergymen are perverts. I was a clergyman on my way to becoming a presbyter in the Catholic Church before I retired. I was a deacon, and that's just a bullshit response. Um, so you relax. I think it's generalizing clergymen is a cultural phenomena. I've met plenty of good Catholic clergymen that are well-rounded and decent human beings. And I take offense to generalizing all clergymen as perverts. I'm certainly not a pervert. I'm retired from the church. Scott, good to see you. Tell him, Gwendolyn. Tell him, Gwendolyn. Let's see here. There are anonymous global surveys about chemicals and celibacy. I turned off 2% of celibates were effectively celibate. I don't know what that means. Celibacy is not the only thing in the Catholic Church. That is a lie. Eastern Catholics, which I was a part of, all of their clergy are married. If you are in the Roman Catholic Church, if you convert from Protestantism, if you're a minister, you could still be married and be a priest. The normal law of celibacy in the Roman Catholic tradition, but there's plenty of exceptions to that rule. That's just false information. Now, celibacy as a spirituality is not bad. It is one where you are able to give more of your time and experience to people. Like, I have a family, and I was a clergyman. I couldn't empty out my bank account and move across the world to help people. A celibate person could, right? So there's benefits to celibacy. There's lots of single people in the world. You are very spiritual as you are, right? The idea of virginity, right, of keeping your sexual desires in a way where you don't let them guide and you know consume you. That is a spiritual exercise. That there's great power. If I'm in marriage, right? I've been married for 26 years, and I've learned that when I don't let my desires dictate my relationship, when I say I want to love the other person with my body at the right time, and I want that person to love me, there's power in that. There's power when you're able to control your desire for positivity. There's power in that. There's love. There's growth. There's transformation. Your sexuality is the most spiritual thing about you, and how you utilize it is a spirituality, right? Priests and nuns who are celibate, Catholics, Catholic mainstream Europe, priests, nuns can marry. Yeah, in like in Eastern Europe, right? Most of the clergy there, like my church was from Ruthenia, ancient Ruthenia, which would be Slovakia, the Carpathian Mountain region. Um, Everyone's married there. I mean, all the priests are married. Yeah, that's not a big deal, right? The idea that Catholics are all celibate is false, right? And I'm not even Catholic, and you're making me defend the Catholic Church. You cannot get married after you're ordained. Like when I was ordained, I took a vow at the altar that I would not, if my wife were to die, I would not get remarried. That is the discipline, right? I don't think it's right that you would forbid someone because marriage is beautiful. The bad teaching in Catholicism is that being celibate makes you more spiritual than married, and that is a bullshit teaching that I, as a married clergyman, always had to deal with. That I wasn't as spiritual as the celibate clergy, right? I thought that was a bullshit teaching that I had to deal with all the time. Um, Buddhism is misunderstood by Western society. Well, of course it is. Well, most Buddhism is always has different flavors and different experiences, right? Um, you could say that for just about any like Hinduism is always misunderstood. I rarely hear a proper presentation of Hinduism by people in Western society because what they'll go on Wikipedia, right? They'll think that's Hinduism, right? God wanted us celibate. He wouldn't have made it feel so good. That's a good point. That's why I got married when I was 23. All right, right. I had a trouble containing the elements down there, right? Let's see, Kiwi, good to see you. Let's see, where am I at here? Holy water, just kidding. Yeah, it is holy. My skooma juice, right? Please stop mocking. I mock whoever I want to. You can't stop me. You don't have to be here, right? Uh, you are not doing right. Let's meditate upon this for a moment. I don't care. You don't have to be here. If you don't like me mocking your experience, then leave. It's quite simple. Do you see this? I'm mocking your religion. I'm mocking your God. When you're trying to force it upon me, this is what you will get every time, right? Um, I mock who I want, right? You can't force me. If you try to force me, I will give you the middle finger. Right? You can't tell me what to do. You people like to control people with religion. That shit doesn't work on me. I'm not afraid to mock your God. Yeah. The God at sanity, I don't have to judge you for not having a job. Oh, what a penis. Uh, Chat is funny. I know comedy. Well, yeah, I'm a comedian, right? Am I sweating? Yes, I'm. It's about 90 degrees out, and I have body armor on. Yeah, so I'm quite hot. Uh, I will become a Christian for $20. Yeah, if you want me to join the religion, don't argue with me. Pay me, and Gwendolyn and I will convert two homosexuals for the price of one. Right? I am homosexual for pay. Gwendolyn is homosexual normally, so we'll both convert for you, um, for the price of $20, right? Um, we're like the couple from Modern Family. Modern Family, you had the gay actor, and then you had the other gay actor. He was just there for the money. Right? um, don't mock my God, Jesus. Don't tell me what to do. I can do whatever I want on my show. Um, Becoming a Muslim for $25. Yeah, we have to put that up a little bit higher because I mean, I got to put my burqa on for that one, right? And it's hard to communicate to you when I'm a Muslim this way, right? It's really hard to communicate. So that's $25 if you want me to become a Muslim. I will be a non-binary Muslim for you for $25. I will wear the burqa. I'll go out to the swimming pool like this and everything. Hey, I'm a Muslim lady. Yes. Um, let's see here. Don't tell me what to do is classic. Yeah. Letting go of control is a wide practice for anyone. Yeah. If you are a Mormon or Muslim or Catholic or Jew, you are a Freemason. Oh, stupid. these these things are just so silly that I hear on here with these people. I'm pathetic. Oh, yeah. I'm sad. You don't have to be here. Tell Jesus that. I will. I will tell Jesus. I'm like, why do you have so many assholes that call upon you? Yeah. Me Lord, I am having a better day today. Oh, thou comest to thy right place, thy friend. Yeah. You're a lesbian for free. See, Gwendolyn is a lesbian for free. I am homosexual for pay. Yeah, there's a big difference, right? You curse God, then sleep in his apartment and eat his food. There you go. How many times do you need to see this today? Right? How many times do you need to see that today? Don't force your God upon me. Your God will get the middle finger each time, right? I'm not afraid of your God. You can't control me with it, right? You religious people love to control people, right? With your religion, right? Uh, we don't do racist shit for Muslims. Muslims are my neighbors. Muslims are my friends, and I know some of them would get pissed off by me mocking this, right? Islam to me is a terrible religion. It's worse than Christianity, but there are good Muslim people, especially in Sufi Islam. That is my favorite type of Islam. The rest of it is terrible to me. I mean, look at how they're acting overseas, right? If you are a person of diversity, you can't live over there. They will murder you, right? That's how terrible. Much of our scientific endeavors came from Islam, right, in the Middle Ages. But fundamentalist Islam took over, and that's why you don't have any Muslim Nobel Prize winners, right? Because they're not allowed to think beyond their book, right? The stars are things that Allah shot bow and arrows through the sky, love light, right? I mean, this ridiculous stuff that they believe in. Um, Gay means happy. I know you're straight and love the ladies. Well, I love my wife's boyfriend too. Oh, you've been rocking the cottage, uh, core lesbian skinny. Speak to the bunny stick. Yes, speak to the stick. The stick will save you, my friends. It will save you. You can hear my crow. He's over there complaining. It's like, where's my food? You haven't brought me any food today. I'm sorry, Morford. I didn't bring your food today. I'm sorry. I was in a hurry this morning. Sometimes I'll bring snacks for him, right? You hear him? He's pissed off. He's like, where are they at? You need to bring me out some eggs. I like eggs. He's over there complaining, right? Uh, Zero attraction towards women, and I don't understand why. I even tried chatting for a while. Yeah, Knight of Cypher, good to see you. Good to have you here, good friend, right? Um, um, we all have these desires within us, right? For whatever reason. And we should respect other people in expressing themselves, right? The fact that a God dictates the destruction of another person based on their human inclination is why you have these terrible people that I meet at gay nightclubs that they're always feeling guilty and shameful, right? Always feeling because of their religion, all right? In Christianity, when I was a clergyman, there would always be gay people in your churches. You find them out. Eventually, they reveal themselves to you. And they're always feeling terrible because the God makes them terrible. The God says that they don't have value and purpose until they're on board. How do you not have these desires, right? You could certainly bury them in the sand, right? You could convince yourself you're not, and these feelings, uh, and you live in misery the rest of your life because your God doesn't like you, right? This idea of God only appreciating you by how you're thinking and living is one of the most evilest things in the world. When you don't have a God who unconditionally loves you, right? Um, you're fucked, right? You have to deal with this guilt and shame on whatever level all the time, and it's terrible, right? Um, Nightmares are a warning from God. Oh shit, I am your welcome to my nightmare. When you get some Alice Cooper on you, right? I escaped the hospital, yes. It's all true. I have lost my damn mind. I have reefer madness. I'm suffering from it. And tomorrow we're going to be watching that as a community. I'm shooting for 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be on Discord together and live streaming a viewing of Reefer Madness. That is the plan. I got to find the show, of course, on YouTube, and then we'll watch it together. We're going to have a good time. Good to see my Irish friend there, Clarion. Good to have you here. Alice Cooper rules. Yeah, he's a wonderful entertainer, and he's a Christian gentleman, right? He's very Christian, in a little fundamentalist way for me, but not too bad, right? Because of his upbringing and stuff, right? He's a good Christian man, and he loves telling stories with the macabre, the horror, right? That is his music, right? And people don't get that, right? They think it is demonic, right? Um, but you cannot contradict him as a Christian. He is very sound in his faith and his principles, right? Same thing with the gentleman from Korn, the guy who is in Korn. He's he a bassist or the guitarist? I can't remember. He talks. If you go to the guy from Korn, he's always talking about his faith, right? And yet he is part of this band that is deemed as demonic, right? Yeah, um, and he demonstrates he could be very faithful to the principles of that has been presented to him in his religion, right? Yeah, Welch is his name, right? Um, Ozzy Osbourne, he was a Christian, right? The guy from Megadeth, he is a Christian, right? Now, the guy from Megadeth, he doesn't perform certain music that he used to do because he was involved in the dark arts. And one of his famous songs is about conjuring, about curse, about hex. So he doesn't do that anymore, but he still continues to rock it hard, right? You have, the entertainment is a lot of Christians have no problem going to a horror movie, but when it comes to music, they separate that. That becomes a demonic, and that comes from the satanic panic in the 80s, right? Where music and games and all of this stuff and certain movies all became a way to demonize you, right? And people eventually grew up and realized that was bullshit. But you still have people railing and holding on to this panic of old, right? Music and film and art can certainly be dark. It could certainly give a negative message to you, right? It certainly can be influence, all right? But that doesn't mean that it's evil, right? It doesn't mean that it leads you into evil. Um, let's see here. My glasses are fogging up. There's lots of humidity here out in the swamp today. Let's see. I was friends with a woman who thought Pokemon was demonic. Yeah. When I became a Christian around, what was it, 1996. Pokemon came out a little bit after that. And I remember enjoying Pokemon. Pokemon was fun, right? I watched even the cartoon was a lot of fun. And then in my uh, in the Christian communities that I associated with, they're like, "This is the devil." So I stepped away from it. I always loved it. I always wanted to go back, but I would go back in shame, right? I would go back in guilt. I'd play real quick and then, go make my confession and go back to life, right? And it was all bullshit, right? There's nothing demonic about a game of cards, right? You are the demon. You are the one that makes something evil, right? Um, Pokemon is not Pokemon. Yeah. You stayed friends with her until I moved away. She was very sweet. I just brainwashed. Yeah. Yeah. It's sad that I was a part of this brainwashing. I caused it. I was a member of it. But people do walk away from it. They do grow up and they realize what they were involved in was quite wrong and unfortunate. As you're coming in, friends, don't forget there's a like button at the top of your screen. I do this for a living. Today I'm out in my sacred grove here, talking to you, whatever you want to talk about. I do this like once a week. I come out to my grove. Usually every day I'm streaming at home, but I'm out in the sacred grove today, sharing my spirituality with you, sharing my experience. Um, do you believe in the exorcism is bullshit? No, I don't. Exorcism is a form of primitive psychology, right, in helping people to heal. Entities, whether you see them as purely psychological constructs or spiritual, are real to the person. And symbols have always been in cultures as a way to heal. Modern psychology is very helpful in replacing the need for exorcism, right? Even amongst people who practice psychology, there's always those people you get that you don't know what to do with, right? I've had many spiritual experiences. I've been involved in exorcisms, so that stuff is very real to me. But I understand that the psychological reality to these things. The intention is to heal, right? Whatever the symbols you use to heal, the person being healed is very important, right? Um, what is your favorite Pokemon? Oh, well, Charizard, right? Uh, Gwen just quoted the Bible. Oh, blasphemy! Why do you wear a Pokemon outfit? I'm a Pokemon breeder, right? I breed, right? I'm like Brock. Brock is always misunderstood. He's always trying to get the ladies and breed Pokemon, right? Let's see here. I have no doubt that LDS people come from Freemasons. Yeah, just because assholes come from Freemasoners, Masons are not evil, right? Within the Masonic tradition, there's always been abuses, but that can be the same with any tradition. The Masons I have met have been great people. For example, when my son had developed, he couldn't talk until he was like 5 years old. He had speech problems. No one was paying for that. I wanted to get him therapy. I couldn't find the money to help heal him. Who paid for it? The Shriners. They paid for it. Where were the Christians, right, that paid for it? Where were they to help me with this? The Shriners did it. Masons that I've met, whenever branch you are in, they've always been good and kind people. Now, the church does not like Masons historically because they contradict them. They contradict their power structure. They say that there's wisdom in all religions, right? That is the perennial philosophy is what makes a Masonic tradition threatening. So what the Christians will do is they make up shit like they're devil worshippers and stuff. But if you go to a lodge, they have a Bible in the middle, right? Um, Christians, I know these doctors don't heal. George Washington was a Freemason. That's right. Our whole country is in the United States here is built on Masons. Lots of our traditions and structures from the ancient world, right? Like the Constitution of the United States, the Bill of Rights. These are all genres of what Masons have brought us, right? They continue these old beautiful traditions in their communities. The covenantal oath, the sacred geometry, that all comes from Masons, right? Joseph Smith, I think he was a terrible human being, right? What's nice about being a terrible human being is that if you start a religion, people can change it and make it better still. Joseph Smith does not have exclusive rights to the Mormon tradition that he founded. Because if you look at Mormons today, they ignore a lot of what he did. And they've built and they've grown out of his terrible religion that he created, right? Uh, Gwen, focus on God, not me. Gwen is God. Yeah. Tom Hanks, what about Tom Hanks? He's a great entertainer, right? Tom Hanks. I've watched probably just about my favorite movie of all time of Tom Hanks. I bet some. I'll let you guess. Can someone guess my favorite movie by Tom Hanks? I'll give you a hint. It's in the 80s. Um, Tom Hanks. I'll let you try to guess which is my favorite movie by uh, my Tom Hanks. Um, Not Forrest Gump. No, that was in the 90s. This is in the 80s. Let's see here. Joe and the Volcano. No. Splash. You're getting close. Pooch. You're getting close. Mazes and Monsters. That was Mazes and Monsters is hilarious. Um, it was a propaganda film during the Satanic Panic. Tom Hanks was one of the stars of this propaganda film, Mazes and Monsters, about the dangers of Dungeons and Dragons. One of the persons playing these role playing games in the movie loses his damn mind and becomes Pardue, the cleric, the healer, and wants to learn the fly spell and jumps off the Twin Towers, right? I mean, that movie was hilarious. We'll have to watch that as a community in the future. It's on YouTube. You can watch it for free. Mazes and Monsters. It's hilarious, right? Um, yeah, he's got all kinds of great films. Like, yeah, yeah. I basically grew up watching him, right? All of his wonderful films back in the 80s and 90s and so on and so forth. Yeah, he's got real good skill of entertaining people, right? Did you hear this one? Yeah, you didn't hear about that? You never heard of Mazes and Monsters? It's one of his first films. Tom Hanks. It's funny to watch. If you love Dungeons and Dragons, you'll get a laugh out of it, right? Because it's the Satanic Panic. It's a propaganda film. It's prob it made people more interested in D&D than it did making them afraid of it, right? Um, all celebs get targeted by for conspiracy. Yeah, all the time, right? Um, we have a lot of good celebrities out there that are just doing the best. Um, I don't like it when celebrities take sides and and split their audience. I don't like that. I don't usually get into the politics of that, but I mentioned how The Rock was called a coward by some of his contemporaries because he refuses to take sides. He just wants to entertain people, to welcome people into a conversation with him. He doesn't want to use his platform to divide people. He wants to be a person to all people, even if they don't particularly like his. If you follow, he is, you know, you know, in the United States, his politics is very obvious, right? But he doesn't take sides. He doesn't use his platform. He tries to speak to all people. I think he'd be a wonderful president. Um, the Rock, right? He's a wonderful entertainer. Ozzy Osbourne is your favorite Sith Lord, and he's a Christian. Yeah, he is a Christian. He was a great entertainer, Ozzy Osbourne, right? You like The Rock? Yeah, I've watched all of his films. I never watched wrestling. Wrestling is. I gave up wrestling in the 80s. That was it. After WWF, there was nothing for me in the wrestling world. Misinformation is the tool used against those with discernment, certainly. David Solomon, good to see you, our good friend, for your entertainment leisure here, out in the grove today, out in the wilderness. Don't forget, my friends, up there above the rabbit is a like button. Go up and give it a touch here. I should be here another 30 minutes or so with you, maybe longer, who knows. I don't know if I'll be back later today. Saturday is usually my free day, unless my wife goes out and does something, and I'll come back and play some video games. You're all delusion and corrupt. He made stop. He's a Satanist. He's the whole follow pagan bullshit. Oh, are you offended? Oh, who's going to your channel and listening to you? Nobody. What a crybaby. Yeah. Let's see here. The Cypherian Night. Yeah. Lord, what the hell are you crying about? Yeah, there's always someone whining on here, right? I mean, you don't have to be here. You should go make breakfast. Take care of yourself, our friend. Thank you for being with us today for your entertainment leisure, right? Do I need a tank or a healer? I'll take a paladin, is in between both of those. I am delusional, so what? Who cares? Why are you here? Who's more delusional? The one listening to the deluded or the delusional person, right? It's really sad they think that they can deter people away from watching. He's delusional. You're just helping me, dumbass. Yeah. Oh, man. The pixels, is it getting, do I have a clear picture here? Sometimes, because I'm out in the wilderness, there's the perception isn't the best, right? Because I'm not operating on Wi-Fi, right? You wasn't dissing me? Oh, all right. Be nice to the wizard chat. Thank you. Do you believe in dinosaurs? Do I? No, dinosaurs aren't real, damn it. Those are all lies created to stop our Christianity. The dinosaurs were invented by the devil. There's no such thing as dinosaurs. It's all paganism, right? One man's delusion is another man's truth, right? Fireball, fireball, fireball. It's not too hard, not too bad now, no. Don't come to your page. They scroll, they see and stop. Yeah, you could keep scrolling. You don't have to stay. The idea that you stay and whine, I mean, that really reveals a lot about you as a person, right? I scroll too. I don't stay and whine. Yeah. You love dinosaurs aren't real. Yeah. I'm called every time I speak the facts of life. Well, maybe you should stop speaking and start living the facts of life. And then your adversaries will have nothing to say because they will see it in the lifestyle you present to them, right? If you're always needing words, what does that say about what's going on the inside, right? More like calling BS. Well, that's like you have to understand something. There's a multitude of people who share their ideas in the world. People who are on a crusade to expose bullshit. You're just helping me. If you find in my algorithm, by continuing to stop the bullshit that you think you're doing, you're helping the bullshit, right? It's like the people who say that I'm a devil worshiper. When you come on here, you're helping the devil. I mean, don't you see how ignorant you are by doing that, right? No dragons are dinosaurs. Your dad is a Muslim. He hates that I love Jesus. Well, give him a reason to love it, right? These people who are opposed to you in your neighborhoods and your families, give them reasons to love what you do rather than reasons to hate you. When you're trying to force your religion on other people, you don't give them any room to see you as a person, right? Give them a reason to love what you're doing. Lucifer means light bringer. Yeah. Interesting history of the word Lucifer. It was never in the Bible. That was some scholar that put it in there. right? Very good advice. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, your name is Repent, Turn to Christ. How can someone really repent if they don't see Christ, right? How can someone want to change their ways if they don't see it, right? Talking about it, guilt and shame doesn't have any power to heal. Guilt and shame has no power to transform. When you see something of ultimate value and it speaks to you, you pursue it, you change, right? Learning that God is madly in love with me made me want to change my life, right? Experiencing divinity is all embracing. Understanding that I am God's religion, that God is always pursuing me, seeking me, loving me, always on my side, made me want to rethink the way I was living and made me want to treat people differently because I'm being treated in such a way, right? Panothrax is the best. I killed his ass. Yeah. uh, Druid, good morning to you. The trees are real this morning. Yes, you want to get a Yeti to Yeti. Now the Yetis are coming. I gave the tree a good tapping there. Right? The Yetis are coming. The Yetis are coming. Don't forget there's a like button, my friends, right there. You see it? Give it a touch. Spiritual entertainment, 7 days a week. You feel like so chill today lately? Well, that's good, Kiki. Glad that you have a UNC alert. Yes, I'm an old ass man. Yeah. I'm old and decrepit, all of those things. Pagans are awesome. Have a great, yeah. Pagans are my friends. Yeah. We OPS now. That's right. You down with OPP? Yeah. Do humans have souls? I am not a fan of the idea of soul. I see that every part of me has value, not just the inner energy. There is a harmony. There is a participation in the elements. I think that the idea of soul sometimes makes you think that the inner reality is all that matters. When you start seeing the interconnectedness of all things, the value of yourself and the world around you, um, uh, you find a better way of living. When you just have a soul, you feel like a prisoner or you need to escape and go somewhere, right? I don't like the idea of soul. Um, there's certainly at our base core, we know from our sciences that we're energy in motion, right? That these are scientific truths that to me are very spiritual about your humanity. You see, my crows are going wild out here. Bigfoot is the one riding inside. Yeah. Um, I've seen a soul leave a body. Yeah, well, the idea of is the body ever abandoned? I don't think so. The materialism of our structure, what's interesting, you'll find in people who have lost, like amputees, is this idea of phantom pain. Now, their body is clearly gone, right? The piece of their body, but they still operate as if they have the part, right? And it causes, you know, uh, psychological and struggles, right? That they have with the idea of phantom pain, right? Your body is important to your structure, your physical condition. We know that it dies. We know that, but you can't see this death as a separation from the natural, from the experience, from the material, because you certainly continue on as a body in a new and different way, right? Your DNA will always be here. One of the interesting phenomena in Christianity is the idea of the incorrupt saint. Hindus have this too, Muslims have this too. Um, the idea that these bodies, they do not decay. Some of them smell like flowers, right? Some of them, they have a stability to the decomposition process, which it brings lots of fascination. That reveals to the peoples of these religions the value of the humanity that we possess. It's not about the soul, it's about the whole human person. And that's why the mythology of resurrection, I think, is very important and has great value. The idea that you continue on with this same form in a greater capacity in a future life. I think that's very important. Um, Edgar Casey talked about reincarnation and resurrection as compatible as truths. He saw Adam as continuing to come back until he got his humanity right, where he was able to raise himself from this state of corruption. These are important philosophies. You are a wandering monk. I've been looking for one. No, I'm just an entertainer out here in the wilderness. Yeah. Let's see. Is the cat inside the box or outside the box? Oh, shit. We're getting knee deep into the philosophies here. Let's see. How you know my name? Your name is right there in your user ID right there on the YouTube chat. Is this supposed to be a mystery, right? Yeah, you're a hairy wizard. Yeah, it is kind of hairy down there. Um, Spiritual entertainment, my friends. 7 days a week, I am here for you. Today, I'm out in the sacred grove, out here for your entertainment leisure. I should be here another, 20 minutes or so. If you're on Discord, if you want to talk afterwards, I'd be willing to talk to you as I walk my way out here. Yeah, I got about 20 minutes and then I got to head out. I got a terrible migraine for whatever reason. Maybe it's the humidity out here. So I have to go back and take my migraine medicines because at some point I'll start going blind here. Soul is stored in the holes of cipher, wandering star for whom it is reserved. You shall not pass. Yeah, I've been playing a fun game called Return to Moria, and it's got all of the places where the fellowship was. It's a lot of fun. Return to Moria. It's like Minecraft for people who love Tolkien. You are a cosmic joker, fool and clown. There's nothing wrong with that symbolism. The trickster, the Loki, these people are just as spiritual. The clown is just as spiritual as the clergyman, right? Just look, last Pastor Ricky Barber, right? About being a clown and being spiritual, right? He will tell you. I'm a big fan of his, Pastor Ricky Barber, not for his religion, just for the entertainment factor that he provides with his religious uh, belief system. You love trees? Yeah. Maybe it's our own fakery that gives you migraines. That's so stupid. What an ignoramus. I had my friend was dying from a fight. Eyes turned black and he left his body, and I heard him scream. He promised to save me from the pit of hell. Yeah, it sounds like you were on some mushrooms or something. LSD, perhaps. Hell is not real. The idea that a deity needs to create something to deal with somebody in their problems for all eternity is a way to torture them is just unrealistic. Rather burn forever than bend a knee to a monster of a god, right? Gotta be trolling, yeah. Have you ever tried haggis? Oh no, I no, thank you. Uh, the idea just the idea of a sheep stomach with all kinds of shit in it, it isn't for me. Now, there's a lot of people that love that stuff. I'm not one for it. Unicorns are real. I saw one in a dream once. Yeah, the unicorn has a beautiful mythology to it, right? Um, Ever heard of the Atom? Oh my! You talking about the superhero? I don't know. You saw a hog run by me? Yeah, I haven't seen any. Usually they make a lot of noise when they come by. That happens back here. They'll walk behind as I'm doing my show here. You guys seem hell. It's lava. Yeah, the floor is lava. What a great video game. Yeah. Yeah, you ever seen lava before? Just think about that. That if, for instance, if you're a parent and you create a specific place that where someone could be burnt forever just because they don't want to follow your rules. What does it say about the nature of the parent? That they're a terrible parent, right? The philosophy of hell is a terrible and wicked thing. Oh, let's see. Your favorite food is warm biscuits. Ooh, then burn me. I have integrity and won't change because of an evil sky daddy told me to do it. Yeah, this is so terrible that this philosophy of a God who creates torture chambers for people, it's quite primitive. I mean, it because of this philosophy, Christianity is falling apart. More people are becoming atheist or pagan because they don't want a God who's an asshole, right? I mean, this is a terrible, terrible philosophy. I don't want hell to be real, to be honest, but I'm just a creation. How do you know that? Who told you that, right? Why are you trusting some other institution with telling you how the world is or the afterlife, right? Why don't you ask questions? You ever wonder why, when you start asking questions, you become the enemy, become under the devil, right? They have all of these things in the institutions to control the way you think, right? And in the moment you don't, you're screwed, right, by the community, right? What is a bizarre food that actually is your favorite? A bizarre food that is my favorite. Now, I wouldn't, I never really thought about that. A bizarre food that is, I like eating testicles. I don't know, right? Um, the Old Testament is full of evil acts by an evil dimurge. Yeah, the Gnostics were right in their criticism of the Hebrew God. I mean, he was an asshole, right? Your wife, oh damn, it's not called reaping what you sow. No, it's called few are chosen. Yeah, yeah. All of these terms to scare the shit out of you, right? Um, Now, I don't know why you want to live that way. You certainly can. I'm not going to stop you. Um, 69 likes. Well, it's better than 6, 7, right? Got about 10 more minutes here, my friends, for your entertainment leisure. I am here out in the wilderness, out in the humidity, out here in the wilderness, talking to you from my sacred grove today. Did I steal your sweetbread, sweet rolls? Yeah, I certainly did, right? Uh, let's see. Yeah, the chosen. Congratulations by being chosen by the most evil God imagined by man, right? Hello, dear sir. Good to see you. Good to see you. Check on your reefer plants while you're in the woods. Yeah, I have. All of my mushrooms and my reefers, they're growing quite well. Thank you for reminding me. They have all the proper fertilizers and things. Yeah. Uh, have a good one, Mantis. Dr. Mantis Toboggan, thank you for being a part of our community. We appreciate you being here. Mortal get better 4G. Uh, I don't know what that means. Black Jesus is waiting. Yeah, Jesus can be any color you want it to be. I mean, humanity is what's sacred, right? The idea of someone's color does not make you sacred, right? It's the humanity that we all share, where that divinity comes from, right? What's with the Cape? I'm out fighting crime today, trying to prevent forest fires, right? We have to learn from our Canadian friends the dangers of forest fires. Yeah, I mean, the smoke from these forest fires comes all the way down. Gwendolyn is suffering right now, right? Over there in New York from our Canadian friends. I was speaking to a Canadian friend last night in my D&D game, and she's got to be in a house with a filter and everything because you can't breathe in some places up in Canada right now because of the fires. And she was talking about all kinds of politics that are the reason for these. I don't understand it. Now, Gwendolyn here is an expert in terms of the controlled burning and stuff like that. The need for fires to happen in specific ways. She is the expert. I don't know the ideas behind what the problems are, but Gwendolyn here could certainly educate you if you're interested in learning about that. Doing forestry and N95 makes it rough. Yeah, you're having that mask on, trying to go out there, do that thing. You're going to the hospital today because I can't. Yeah, Dr. Mantis, you are a Canadian, right? Yeah, this is terrible things that they're experiencing up there. People are, I have allergy-induced asthma, so I would certainly have a difficult time up there where our Canadian friends is. So this is something. Hopefully, my friend from Canada was telling me something about helicopters not being available. I mean, all kinds of problems with these fires, right? And she's blaming. She said it was the premier, or I don't know the political things that she was talking about. The smoke is too far away from where you're at, right? Um, yeah. The last fire that they had up there, which was what, a year ago or 2 years ago, I can't remember. All that smoke came down to Florida. I mean, it was, you could smell it. It was terrible. I can only imagine how our Canadian friends experience. Fires are a product of poor maintenance and climate change. It's not political. Both right and left leaning politicians don't know how to treat the forest. See, there you have it from our expert here of the nature of the need for controlled burns. Yeah. You have a horrible cough. I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. Do you take like wet cloths, put them over to breathe? I heard that helps as well. Having a warm, wet cloth over your mouth helps filter, like make it like a cup and filter. I don't know if that helps at all. Yeah, Gwendolyn here is a real forester. You have for your foresting needs, right? Uh, you accuse the land every day. The Lord's commands in the glory. I'm not going to even bother to finish reading that. I was paid to burn a forest down. Well, that's terrible. That's terrible. Um, Lyrics from the angels. Yeah. Jesus is a bottom. What does that mean? I don't understand the context of that. I don't understand. Don't forget, my friends, right there, you see it? I need 25 more likes. Help a bot out. I'm going to be here for a few more minutes with you for your entertainment leisure. I am here. I do this every day. Today I'm out in the grove, in the wilderness, out here sharing with you the beauty of the nature. The birds are singing, the sun is rising in the sacred grove today, my friends. You've done controlled burns. They can be healthy for the forest. Yeah. Yeah. See, nature needs us, right? We are nature, and we have a responsibility to guide the world around us to help it to be healthy, to develop. We have been given that task. Yeah. Being a forester is a priesthood, right? You have a responsibility to the environment, to the world around you, to help it to function, to be healthy, to be a better place. So thank you, our high priest of the mountains here, formerly high priest of the orchard, for all the hard work you do in your spirituality, right? Let's see here. Cosplay, that's in the evening. Lovely talisman. You like it, the Triskelion here? Hal, good to see you, my friend. This morning you are feeling very positive. You're in the UK, and the Jehovah Witnesses knocked on your door and thought I told them not. I told them not to in the past. Yeah, what will work? This will be a guaranteed thing for you to work with the Jehovah Witnesses. They will mark your house in their kingdom halls if you pose any type of inappropriate threat to them, whether you're, you're an apostate or whatever. What worked for me was showing them my penis. The Jehovah Witnesses have never come back to my house. after I open the door naked. They've never come. Like I put, don't solicit it. They don't give a shit about that. They kept coming back over and over again, and showing them my penis is what stopped them from harassing me. I have never had them come back to my house, ever. Don't be deceived. Yeah, just show them your penis. Yeah, the triskelion is powerful. Yeah, Fiona, you don't get Jehovah Witnesses out in the wilderness where you are, right? Over on your farm in the middle of the kingdom of Kerry there in Ireland. Forests in the south like Florida, they are evolved to burn every 40 years or so. Yeah, in the state of Florida, there's every year there's some type of burning going on where I live. And they sometimes that mixes with the fog and there's car accidents and stuff. There's always controlled burning going on in my state. I think we've done a good job in preserving our environment here in the state of Florida, especially with the projects we do in the Everglades. Where I am at right now, this is all state land. It is a wildlife preserve. They call it a wildlife management center. And all of these trees, everything here, the state is building up a beautiful place here for animals and for trees, and for they even bring out bees, honeybees out here, and everything. They're doing a good job, I think. Where I live in the state of Florida, they're very serious about, because lots of the um, purified water comes from Florida. I don't know if you knew that. The swamp trees are the best purifiers of the water. They used to come to your address in Cork, the Jehovah Witnesses. Yeah. Northern Florida, they do burns as well. Yeah. Yeah. Um, Someone's going to get a timeout. They're going to put you in the corner. Hi, Misty. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. You're still recovering from the loss of the football up there, right? A lot of our English friends were very upset about the recent football news, right? Um, yeah. Thank you so much for that knowledge. Yeah, we have wonderful, knowledgeable people here, like Gwendolyn here. We have all these wonderful, gifted, and talented people in our community. Think about joining us. There's a join button right there. For the price of a cup of coffee, you could support what we do. And we have a wonderful community of diverse people from different backgrounds and religions and non religions, all in one place together, talking about fun things, talking about the world, uh, under the banner of what what I've presented to people. Yeah, I practice modern druidry, and I also do comedy. Right, we do gaming, we do all kinds of fun in there. We have a wonderful, wonderful community. The Jehovah Witnesses do very serious harm with a homophobic views. It's just not about, well, turn it against them. You know, when they come to your house, hit on the gentleman. I mean, yeah, the Jehovah Witnesses are evil in their philosophy, but have a good time with them, right? Hit on them. Show them the power, and you might entice somebody though doing that, right? They might leave their religion for you, like, oh, I like this gay man. I'm going to come back and knock on his door. Thank you, Gwendolyn, for sharing the privilege of community membership with people here. Thank you so much for doing that. Now, if you've joined our community, there will be a members only tab on my page. And on that members tab, there is a Discord link. If you have any problems getting on our Discord, Gwendolyn here will hook you up and give you the right authority to do so. The forest is beautiful, bountiful, and so we share. That's right. Religion is your choice, but preaching in live chats is no way to convince people. It's tacky. Yeah, well, the thing about preaching, right? Preaching without presence is lifeless. There's always been preachers. There's always been teachers. There's always been people um, trying to share their experiences. And one of the problems you have today in modern religion is it has no soul. There's nothing beyond the words, right? I'm not against people preaching their religions, right? I'm against the lifelessness that they're offering to people. If you have something of value, you should talk about it, right? You should share it with other people, right? But what you see, like on YouTube, right, is there's no life in that at all. I mean, I get these people every day. Jesus loves you, so on and so forth. Um, there's not that's just words. If Jesus loves me, why aren't you, right? It's easy to tell someone you're loved, but Jesus doesn't want you telling. He wants you showing people they're loved, right? That is a difficult thing to do, but that's what he told people to do. He said, "Love your enemies," right? Love. What good is it for you just to love your people and your family? All right. He said, the real power is when you learn to love people who are different than you, people who might be your enemy, right? And that is a difficult thing to do sometimes, right? But that's what makes you a child of the Most High, because God brings the rain on both the righteous and unrighteous. Learn to love like your God does, right? That's very important. The Bible is the greatest lie ever told. Yeah, the Bible is not a good book, right? It's not brought here for your enlightenment. It is brought to you to be controlled. Now, in the Bible, there is wisdom, right? That's important that you make that distinction. There's wisdom in it, right? But as a book, it is not a good one, because there's terrible things in it. Now, as a book, for instance, you could say this is what my ancestors, it's your history, it's part of your ancestral memory. That's fine. But when you start saying this is how God really is, that's when it becomes terrible, right? Because you can find terrible things in all ancient religions and their laws and the way they did things. What's important is that we move beyond that, we grow from that, that we don't remain there, right? That we don't remain there, right? The universe is God. Yeah. I don't see the world I live in as separated from divinity, right? Um, Everything of divinity is here. Everything of divinity is in you. You are just in my opinion, a unique manifestation in this mystery as child, right? I believe in the ancestral memory here of the triskelion, father, mother, child, right? I see us as the eternal child. That is what we are, right? That's just my personal philosophy. Uh, Silk stockings. Oh, look at you! You're getting me all aroused here. Oh my! Better to read a dedicated book on wisdom, like the Tao Te Ching or the Kabbalion. Yeah. Well, yeah, there's all if you are seeking wisdom, like even the Greeks knew this, right? You go to everyone to find Sophia. There's wisdom in all philosophies and all religions. You can find a face there, right? Where the Bible really shines for me is in the teachings of love. The rest of it, not so much. In the teachings about divine Sophia, Proverbs chapter 8 uh, is a different creation narrative that you find within this tradition of the Hebrew people about how a lady was there as the wise master builder, the crafter of the cosmos. I think that is a beautiful thing, right? Um, so you can find good things in the Bible. You can also find lots of terrible things. The problems with modern Christians is they make excuses for the terribleness instead of dismissing it as terrible, right? Because they have been brainwashed to not separate their experience from the book. The book gives you the experience, they're told. Without the book, you don't have God. That is a lie, right? The logos is not caged. The logos can be experienced everywhere in anything, right? Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and life." The intention of the author is logos, not religion, but logos. This idea that this doorway is him. He is the doorway, right? And he is present everywhere. That's the ancient Greek understanding of logos, right? It is the gateway to the divine sea. There's our good friend, the Greek Nine Tails. I was just sharing on Discord um, the bullshit that you have to put up. Can't even read a goddamn book. With these people. YouTube is terrible with copywriting. I got stuff on. I did video game streams, and I got stuff on my stream saying that these people copied off me. The AIs running this are retarded. They don't differentiate. So if I wanted to, I can make someone force to pay me or delete their page just because their music sounded the same, right? This is an abuse of people's creativity. He was censored for reading Lord of the Rings, a very common historical book that shouldn't be the property of anyone, right? You should be able to freely read any book you want on YouTube without people trying to get you to pay for it, right? I mean, this is an injustice. It's bullshit. Um, I did a video game stream playing Baldur's Gate. Now, all of that music is the property of Beamdog and Wizards of the Coast, but some assholes at some company were able to have music that sounded similar, and they tried to force me to share my money with them. So I said, "Fuck you! I'm going to delete the page," right? This system that YouTube have is terrible, right? I understand the need to preserve people's integrity. People are trying to make a living, but this system is clearly being abused. And our good friend, he's got a very successful YouTube page. So as you grow in success, there's always people that are trying to steal your money. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that, our good friend. And I'm a big fan. I support your channel. He's got a great channel. He talks about lore from Tolkien. I'm a big fan of Tolkien, so I enjoy listening to what he has to say. And he goes out, does evening streams where he walks around. I'm usually sleeping when he's doing his live streams. His other ones, when he was early on the days, I'm able to catch those on occasion. Yeah, it's frustrating. I guess it's a rite of passage on YouTube. This hopefully in the future there'll be less abuse, but YouTube is mostly run by AI. Unfortunately, they don't have the manpower to deal with all of. I mean, millions and millions and millions. You don't have the resources to properly deal with. I made a parody video the other day that I had to take down of making fun of Ice-T, the great rapper. Remember, colors, colors. The gangs of LA will never die. They only multiply. Colors. He made a Blue Chews commercial about getting his penis hard. So I made a parody video. I had to take it down because it was some bullshit about fictional presentation or something. I'm like, well, fuck you. I'll just erase it. You want to penalize me for making fun of some? Now, Ice-T, this was a parody video. This was a comedy thing that he was doing, right, about getting an erection and stuff with his wife eating the Blue Chews. Yeah, that was a form of parody that he did, and I was just making fun of it, and I got penalized for that. So I just deleted the video, right? As a place for creative expression. Yeah, it's terrible. The people trying to rob me of my living. I'm trying to make a living doing this, and you have all of these other assholes, right? Um, we last month we watched the Darkest Dungeons video together as a community, and because a song was playing in the background of the film, they tried to take money away from it that I earned, and it was a reaction video. But I won. I contested it, and I was able to win against the infringement because you have the right to make videos where you react. You have the right to make video game and all that other stuff. You have that right to do those things. And so it just sucks some of the stuff. This sounds hilarious. That sounds like a fair use too. Yeah, fair use, right? Um, it's sad when the YouTube doesn't want to promote it, right? Because they have all this shit on it, right? Only people in my community got to see the video uh, because YouTube shut it down. It had all these things on it, right? It wasn't even AI or anything. It was really iced tea. You know, this rapper talking about getting a hard on, which I thought was funny, right? You got this guy who's saying cop killer back in the like 1990, right? Yeah, Ice T's a wonderful entertainer, right? Because he's got Law and Order and all that, right? It was a funny video, but unfortunately took it down. Private equity is the downfall of humanity. Yeah. Bro is just bust a line. Yeah. Yeah, I used to listen to a lot of rap music. I listened to all types of music growing up: metal, rap, um, jazz. I mean, everything. I love different forms of music. Most of the music I listen to now is classic rock or electronic dance music. That's usually I go back and forth, listen to. Yeah, I'm a big fan of different forms of music. Um, I even like video game music. Uh, there's a big um, appeal to some of these classical video games, like Zelda, for instance. That's a big one, right? There's a beauty to this form of entertainment that often goes underappreciated. I know that Green Knight likes Zelda music. He plays it when he does his things, right? There's a lot of beautiful music out there in video games, right? Um, the Last Jedi, yeah, that's me. I'm all that's left of the Jedi. Don't forget, friends, 15 more likes. My headache just left me, so I'm feeling better. Thank you for whoever prayed for me to get delivered from my headache. It's gone, right? Thank you for your Christian powers. By the time he stops talking, Jesus will be back. He is coming. He is coming. Yes. What am I doing? I'm entertaining people, right? Shout out for Final Fantasy VR. Yeah, beautiful music in there, right? Video games are slept uh, on as an art form. Yeah, yeah. Some of the best the best music for me in terms of video game that I it just takes me to a special place is the soundtrack from Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. That music has been a part of my life, and I use it in all of my D&D games. Um, and the NES, the old Zelda music, the Legacy of the Wizard had such. I mean, that was such a game that people weren't familiar with, but the music is so powerful, right? Some of the music of that the 80s there, the digital electronical music on games, like the music for Ultima. I mean, the music is really one of the most powerful things in the game because it allows you to immerse yourself in the world, right? Um, all of the great writers of movies know this. If you watch a good movie, there's always music, right? Music is so essential for going deeper, right? Look at Star Wars. If you ever watch Star Wars, there's the original Star Wars. There's never a time when music is not playing, right? Because the music is so powerful. It takes you to this place, to this journey, to these games that help you to go into another world. You know, gaming, um, in a way, is a continuation of ancient form of storytelling. Um, you have someone initiating you into a mystery. They are taking you to another place where you feel like you have purpose, that you have being, that you're doing something important in the world. You know, that form of storytelling is very important, and gaming has done a lot to bring people to these places, right? Um, like people would come to like Gary Gygax. They just recently celebrated his birthday or passing or something. I forgot what it's, but people would come from all over the world who found their life in the game that he offered to them, right? People from all different professions and stuff. The storytelling through the game Dungeons and Dragons really helped initiate people to a better form and experience of their humanity. Jammy Jam Jam, good to see you, our good friend. Anime, OST are good, yeah. Um, my favorite anime is Robotech. Robotech was what I could not wait to get home to watch Rick Hunter, pursue Mid-May, right? I mean, that was the romance, the beauty of Robotech really spoke to me as a young person. And one of my kids loves anime. A lot of that stuff I don't really find the modern anime. It doesn't really speak to me, but it certainly speaks to a lot of young people. The cloak gives me +5 stealth, yeah, and a permanent erection bonus, yeah. Um, Attack of the Titan really blew you away. That was what really spoke to you, right? Yeah, there's always these things that are helping us to take the journey, right? We're all meant to journey. We're all meant to go to these places, and without the storytelling, without that invitation, uh, we don't grow as a humanity, right? Psychopaths and uh, paranoia agent for schizo vibes for champion classic. E, e, I don't know what you're talking about there. Samurai Champonias is goaded. Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with that as well. I see the deaf will never hear, your eyes will never see, because people hate the truth. What a good God you have that causes spirits of delusion in the world, that causes blindness, and makes people like you think it's a wonderful thing to be able to quote verses like that. Think about that. A God needs to send a spirit of delusion upon you so you don't understand. What a dick. Yeah. I would never do that to my children. No matter how terrible my children are, I always want them to know the truth of my love. I will never deny that to them, no matter how terrible. Not your God, though. He's a dick. Cyberpunk anime? Yeah. Um, let's see here. LOL. Remember the Adventures of Lolo? That had some interesting music, right? Ninja Turtles, that was another good NES game with wonderful music. Yeah. Some of my YouTube shorts that I make, the wizard memes, as I call them, I use a lot of video game music from the 1980s. If you haven't noticed yesterday, I made that one with about Friday with the night. Yeah. Oh my. The truth of love let be revealed upon all. Yeah. There should be nobody excluded from being loved, right? But when you have gods that say, you're not following my rules, fuck you, I'm going to let you be deluded now. That's not a loving God at all, right? Cowboy Bebop, oh, is the goat. Silent Hill, oh man, Silent Hill, that was some scary shit. When the first movie that they made based on the video game, oh, I'll never forget that part where that witch lady like turns like this, her fingers, and the beast takes this big giant cleaver and just peels the skin right off of the body of that person. That was intense, frightening moment for me in terms of film. I'm looking forward to the new Silent Hill coming out on streaming. It was out at the theater a few months ago. The new Silent Hill. I saw the first two. There, I never really got into the games, but I did enjoy the movies. Right? No one has made a memories of playing first games in October. Yeah, watched for games. Yeah, yeah. Games are always going to be here. They're always going to be a part of our culture, and they're always going to be better. And some games are going to be around forever, right? Some games, like the Zelda franchise, there's going to be Zelda 100. You know, one, there's always going to be a Zelda game. It's a very important part of our humanity, right? It's part of our culture. There's always going to be a Star Wars film. Um, there's these beautiful things that we create, right? That help define us, that help us to continue. Theo, my favorite occult painter, is here. Good to see you, our good friend. These Silent Hills games are scary for when you were a kid. Yeah. The friendly Kruger actor says he wants to do some more nightmares. That would be great because those aren't scary to me, right? As a child, that's all we had in terms of fear. A Nightmare on Elm Street, right? Um, those were quite terrifying. But you look at them now, it's like no big deal compared to the horror films that we have out now, right? Uh, Lots of good horror films that they continue to make. My favorite series is The Conjuring. That's some scary shit, right? The Conjuring films, quite scary indeed. Oh, look at the sun is rising upon my head. Got into the hour in here. I got 20%, 27% battery. So when I lose that 7%, I'm going to have to start winding it down. And as I said, if you're on Discord, we can walk out of my Discord community. If you're in the chat, I will certainly stop in and say hello, and we can walk out of the wilderness here together. I got to move because the sun is glaring down upon my face right now. 10 more likes, my friends. Help a bot out. 10 more likes. Spiritual entertainment, 7 days a week. Today I'm in my sacred grove with you. I don't know if I'll be back later today. I got to do some lawn maintenance around the house. Got to make dinner and things of that nature. But tomorrow I'll be back in the morning, of course. And I do plan on streaming Reefer Madness tomorrow, our community event. If you're part of our Discord community, please stop in the chat. And what's unfortunate about the chat is that if you're watching it on YouTube, there's like a 30-second delay. So while I'm reacting or other people, it's kind of like behind, right? In terms of the Discord chatting conversation. Have a great day, Vampire. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Green Knight. Smashing the like button. Very important. Um, People that watch YouTube so often don't know that if you're watching it on a cell phone, that at the top of your screen, that isn't just a representation of how many likes you're getting. That is the like button. You have to go up and touch it, right? And it's very important for people who do this for a living. We need that because it helps us to develop, it helps us to thrive in our creativity. I've been doing this for a whole year, you know, uh, being here with you. And I plan on doing it the rest of my life, the next 25 years. I plan on being here as long as people are liking and subscribing and buying me those wonderful coffees. There's a join button down there. For the price of a cup of coffee, you could support what we do and be a member of our Discord community where we have all kinds of fun together. Um, do I grow vegetables and fruit? No, I don't. I'm not a gardener, right? Um, there's a lot of things I can be doing, I should be doing, but this is the best way I could live right now. I don't have the resources or time to dedicate myself to a garden. I'm all about this grove here, though. I am a tender of this grove in terms of the spirituality that it brings into the world. They are in images. It's a picture of your booth. Yeah, Gwendolyn here does feet pics for people who have sexual desires for feet. Um, we do allow feet pics. We do not allow your other private parts because we do have good Christian people on our Discord server that don't always like to see people's penises, right, or vaginas or breasticles. So we have an OnlyFans page for those people who enjoy seeing those things. But we do allow feet pics, and Gwendolyn here is a big uh, uh, fan of sharing her feet with all of us for your arousal needs in terms of feet. Uh, are you actually outside? Yes, I am. I am out in the wilderness, my friend. Hal. This is my sacred grove here. See? Look at. You see the tree? You hear it? I'm out in the wilderness in the swamp today in sharing. This is where I come for meditation regularly out in the wilderness here, where I practice my druidry. Yeah, I know this man from a past wizard life. Yeah, probably. I've been around the galaxy. People try to point out stuff on my last live uh, wallets, but The chat delay always makes me miss it. Yeah. Um, One of the things that uh, I I wish I in the beginning when I started doing this, I could talk to everyone and have a conversation with everyone. But now we get like 4,000 chats per show, right? Um, and I cannot keep up, right? I cannot keep up with them. Um, that's why we have a Discord community. If you ever want to talk to me, I will be there for you. One of the things about if you're a community member, you can highlight your comment in green. That's another benefit that YouTube allows, right? Um, I tried my best to respond to people and to have conversation with people, but I am limited in my skills. You're struggling generally a very peaceful, loving person, but more recently with hateful bigotry I've experienced as a gay man. I feel more angry. You know what helped me? I was a bigot once, right? And I had people of diversity had every reason to go after me, to make me, to demonize me, to try to destroy me, because I had terrible ideas about people of diversity. But the ones that really spoke to me are the ones that loved me, the ones that were kind to me, um, because I couldn't say anything to them. Right, their acts of kindness helped heal me, helped me to see that what am I doing? Why am I saying? Why am I thinking this way about these people are nice, right? You will find that the greatest way to respond, um, uh, there'll always be assholes, right? Uh, but that kindness, there's nothing like it. It brings down walls. Um, you know, love really overcomes everything. And when you learn to love these people when they don't deserve it, some of them will see your generosity and kindness, and they will come back to you and say, "I'm sorry." I've done the apologies already, right? To people of diversity. I got like all diverse people running the server basically on my channel, right? I was wrong, but because of the kindness of others, and even coming out and learning, like Gwendolyn here has been a great help in helping me to learn about people of diversity, because I was programmed to think, and our good friend Knight of Cipher as well has been a great help to see people and to be educated, right? Finding that to be true, it does work with many people. See, right? It's hard to do, Hal. It's hard to do because it's hurtful. One of the things you have to see in these people who are being hurtful is that they are hurting, right? They are hurting inside, right? And in order, you could certainly draw the sword, but then the problem doesn't go away, right? When you do non-violence, when you learn to love these people as Martin Luther King did with the racism, bigotry, it was able to heal a nation, right? Bigotry is always going to be around, uh, unfortunately, right? But there will always be people that escape it because of the kindness that you show to them. I remember that when I worked at a church, our best parishioner was a gay man. Now everyone knew he was gay, and no one confronted him or anything. No one had anything to say to him because he was the most generous and kind person in the church. So when he wore his rainbow pins and stuff during Pride Month, nobody could say anything to him because he had such a wonderful example in the community, right? It's unfortunate that he goes to a church like that, right, where people would question him. But he spoke to me. He was the most kindest person, and I miss him because he was like the best Christian in the community I was in. People are people, and most are just misled, right? I feel for those who are being duped. Yeah, yeah. Being someone, bigotry is a learned behavior. We are not born homophobic or racist or any types of phobias. These are learned behaviors from the cultural reality, right? And uh, you know, you are programmed to think in a certain way. Um, And it's not necessarily the person's fault. But when you don't respond to that the way they want you to respond, when you love that other person, they have nothing to say. It causes them to think, they get confused. Why is that person so nice? Right? Um, let's see here. You are saying you should just not stand up for bigotry and hatred, uh, just meditate and be peaceful. Well, how has being bitter about it helped you? It's making you miserable, is it not? Your challenge to your bigotry begins within you, not with the person. It's making you miserable as a person, right? You're always looking for excuses to be miserable. You don't have to do that. When you learn that that person is you, you would be that person. You would be a bigot too, right? You have a responsibility to be the adult in the room and to love these people. Now, not everyone's going to receive that. So that is what I'm saying. I'm saying love your enemies. That's what I'm saying. And that is the greatest and most powerful thing you can do to heal other people. Um, bigotry, the pain from it, it's all in here. You're continuing it, right? Blessings, thank you. Getting ready to be ready, yeah. Uh, it's part of someone's nature to either be nice or to mean. No, our nature is to be good. Our nature is to be kind. Our nature is to be generous. That is the essence of our humanity. We are rooted in love. For whatever reason, we are taught not to perceive that the world in that way, right? Like I have a son who has severe autism. Some of the friends he's associated has made him basically he doesn't like gay people, and I'm always having to contradict him because my I have a daughter who is transgender, and he is always hate. I'm like, why are you thinking this way? You know, I'm always having to try to see the value in humanity, but he has been programmed in these friends that he has met to think negatively, and it's not his fault. It's his brain chemistry that does not allow him to see beyond his own experience. And the only thing I can do and my daughter can do is to love him because fighting him just makes him worse, right? I am very peaceful person, always been spiritual. I really love this channel. But after what happened this morning with the Jehovah Witnesses have ruined my day. Your day is in your hands, right? Your peace comes from you. It doesn't come from people who are bigots. It doesn't come from outside of yourself. You are responsible for maintaining your own peace. You are responsible for maintaining your own experience, not other people, right? Uh, uh, this is something we all go through where we want to blame others for why our life is terrible. You have to take responsibility for your own condition inside of yourself. You cannot blame other people, right? And that takes great courage to begin the journey within yourself and take responsibility for how you feel, right? Um, I want to talk about debate politics. Yeah. You want to talk about, we don't do politics on our Discord channel unless you want to do it privately, right? You can talk to people all you want on there privately, like Gwendolyn here. Ashley, good to see you. Good to have you. Surround yourself with people who are good people and remove the noise that disrupts your Zen. Yeah. Maybe black magic against them is an option. The problem with black magic, the problem with hex, is that the evil begins in you. It does not begin with the other person. And as long as there's an hex, you are being hexed, right? That is the contradiction, unfortunately, right? The idea of dark deeds begins in you, right? Two more likes, my friends. I got 20% battery here, 20% left. I need two more likes before I go here. Two more likes here. Spiritual entertainment 7 days a week. Um, Beautiful day today. Here out in the wilderness for your entertainment leisure. My buddy thinks you're a fool. By the way, I am gay. Well, good for you. Yeah. Uh, don't I am a fool to many people. Um, the tarot card, the fool, is my card, and I'm okay with that. Right? I appreciate the chat. I'm sorry I offended in my English. I'm going to have a cup of tea that always heals everything. Yeah, there's no offense here. There's nothing to be sorry of. We're just having a conversation, right? Uh, I am just an entertainer. I don't require anyone to adhere to anything I say, and I certainly could be wrong about everything, right? I'm just sharing my opinion. It's all good. Enjoy your cup of tea, my friend. Spiritual entertainment, 7 days a week. I am here for your entertainment leisure. Uh, let's see here. Uh, let it, the gods love you. Yes, Jesus is your king. Gwendolyn is my king and queen and all of that stuff here. She is the high priestess of the mountains. That's all we need here is Gwendolyn. Nothing else. One more like, and I can go take a poop. Come on, people, help a bot out. Spiritual entertainment 7 days a week. One more like is all that I ask. Can you help a bot out? Look at that. Just go up and touch it. Oh, look at it. You see it? There we are. Thank you, my friends. I appreciate you. You guess you have experienced an extreme homophobia. It cost you your job, physically assaulted. Yeah, you're sharing a tale that many of people on here can relate to, right? Um, I, I've experienced extreme and evil things in my life as well, and in my own way, I have known pain, and we all have to make a journey with our pain. Do we let our pain dictate what we're going to do next? Or are we going to use our pain uh, to really bring light and goodness into the world? All right, I'm going to head over to Discord. If anyone is on there, I will say hello to you. Hal, we'd like to have you on our Discord. If you send me an email, Hal, I'll get you on there, or talk to Gwendolyn here. We'll get you on our Discord because you're here quite often, right? We would love to have you on our Discord channel and have tea with you, Hal. So reach out to me, the email, or talk to Gwendolyn here, and we'll get you on our Discord channel. All right, my friends, I'm going to head over. If you're on Discord, I will say hello as I'm packing up and moving out of the wilderness is my battery. Trinity, good to see you. Good to see you, our good friend Trinity. All right, so I should be back tomorrow morning. I don't know about later today. I don't know what today is planned. But tomorrow afternoon in Eastern Standard Time, the plan is to watch Reefer Badness as a community. Let's see. Oh, he bought him a membership, so he is a member. Yeah, we'd love to have you on our Discord. The Discord link is in the members only tab. All right. Take care, my friends.